Where?
I'm assuming it's probably the clutch fan. And it definitely was. Welcome to the channel. On this episode, we're going to work on my buddy Bert's 1957 Chevrolet. For those of you who don't know, this is one that I acquired from Texas a couple of years ago from a guy named Dickie Jones, who had a junkyard completely full of these things. I bought a 57 hardtop from him on a road trip that Mike Finnegan and I were on a couple of years ago, and started a relationship, and it just transpired from there. Like I said, long story short, he was hit and killed by a drunk driver, and his wife allowed me to come back and save several more before they cleaned the yard out and had to sell the property. So this is one of those cars. The goal for this episode is to get this car along with 4 others ready for cruising the coast of Biloxi, Mississippi in just a week and a half. My buddy Bert, who owns this car, stuffed a small block Chevrolet in it with a blower, and there's still a handful of things that we need to do to it before we can even test drive this thing. So let's get after it. We are back working on Bert's 57, and the goal for tonight is to drive this thing down the road and see how it reacts. The transmission that's in this came out of Brandon's 57 that we used on roadkill, and it had several issues. It didn't like to shift, so I don't know what's going to happen now. We need to put coolant in it after we fix a couple of issues there. We got to fix the throttle linkage and bleed the brakes. After we do those things, we can run it up the street and back just to see how it's going to react. We got to set the timing also. So right now we're going to jump into it, get those things worked out, and hopefully be doing burnouts for this thing here shortly. Bert's 57 is close. They've been working on wiring all day as far as running lights, headlights, and turn signals. We added overflow tank for the radiator. We don't have any clear line, so don't poke at us. We know. Our throttle linkage is made. Whatever, it'll work. So I'm gonna set the timing. What are you doing in there?
Cleaning the steering.
Oh, we don't have no steering wheel.
No. Get a pair of ice grips.
I mean, I ain't scared. Wait, do we not have a steering wheel though?
No, we do.
Oh, okay. All right, good. All right, so I'll set the timing. You bolt the steering wheel on, and then we drive it up the street. Is that our plan here?
That's the game plan. No windshield.
Nah, who cares?
Yeah, we don't need that. We got glasses.
It's the opposite. It's the opposite of when you and I did your car.
Yeah.
Yours had a windshield, but no back glass. Wait, does that have a back glass now?
Huh?
Does it have one now?
It's got one.
Oh yeah, we put it in there on for the power tour.
Yeah, right before power tour.
We took it out of my parts car and even reused the seal.
Yeah.
And taped it in there.
Tape, glue.
Yeah, whatever would hold it in.
Whatever holds.
All right, Bert, you excited?
Oh, I'm just tickled to death.
Yeah?
I'm ready for this thing to fire up and run down the road.
And it'll fire up, and I know for a fact it'll move.
That's good.
Let's just see how far it goes.
Yeah.
As long as it gets out of the driveway, that's your problem after that. So.
Okay, fine. It's got to go farther than that.
I'm curious to see if the kickdown deal here will work for the transmission. So, all right, a couple more things. We'll set the timing, and then this thing will move under its own power for the first time. I like those wheels. I've never seen those wheels. What brand are those? Rocket? You found those on Marketplace?
Yep, found them on Marketplace.
Man, good find. They look good. They're similar to like an old style American. Although beat up, this car is mint. It's very solid. Like look at the, we can't see the floors, but like look at the back. It's a very solid car, minus a few dings here and there, you know, whatever, battle scars.
Just let it go. Over your gas.
Very touchy on the throttle.
Yeah. Oh, very, very touchy. Very touchy.
Very touchy throttle. Absolutely no brakes.
It sounds rowdy. Like, I mean, dude, you know.
Trying to pull it in.
God, I wish we could fix the brakes. Let me see it. Oh God.
I mean, I didn't torque them, but I mean, I put them on with a.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that works. It should.
It's solid.
I think so.
Yeah, we had the wrong master on this thing.
Okay.
Where?
I'm assuming it's probably the clutch fan. And it definitely was.
What, did it just kill itself?
We got all into the shroud.
Well, the test drive didn't go as planned. We had 0 brakes, and the car is running like absolute crap. So we bled the brakes on the lift, all 4 corners, bled out fine, seemed okay. But when we went to test drive it, nothing. There's no pedal whatsoever. So we're gonna swap the master cylinder because the one that's on there came off my 57 and it's got 4-wheel disc brakes. So this has 4-wheel drum brakes. So we ordered another one for drum brakes. And it was supposed to be here already, but it's not. And we're very impatient, so we might walk around the yard to see if we can rob one off of one of these C10 trucks or something, just so we can drive it. And another thing I'm gonna do is pull the #1 spark plug out and get the piston up on top dead center and verify that the balancer is marked correctly, because it's acting as if it's way out of time. So while Brandon's working on that stuff, I'm gonna check the timing mark. We're gonna give this another go. Oh, and we gotta pull the pulley and the fan off the water pump because the fan got into the radiator shroud and it's not happy anymore. It's kind of bent. So we gotta address that. But for right now, we can just pull that stuff off and just run the electric fan up front just to do a short test drive. It'll be fine. But yeah, we still need to fix that. So I wonder how that happens. I can't believe it's not leaking. It busted the whole front of the nose off. I guess with a spacer on there, on the fan, there's just too much leverage and it just snapped off. So I may have another short water pump in the shed. What are you working on now? Boost gauge? Alright, well, let's swap the water pump. Or I'll go sit down and find one. You work on that. I'm going to mark the balancer because I got to figure out what the hell's going on with this thing.
It's not good.
No. We're making some progress, boys. We have brakes now.
We got brakes. This is good.
So we swapped out the master cylinder for a drum master and put my bleeder on there. We have a good pedal on all 4 corners now. We've got an electric water pump on there. We got a new electric fan. All the mechanical stuff is now gone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So now it's not reliable anymore. You're hooking up the switch panel that holds our relays inside the car.
Yep.
Because now we have to add all that junk. So we need a belt for the alternator. That's it. Finish the little bit of wiring and put a belt on it. We can go test drive this thing.
We'll be a little bit safer this time. You know,
That's brakes.
Stop.
That was a bit sketchy.
It was.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So, quick way to measure a belt. If you have an old belt laying around, just grab the long one, cut it, route it, and then just mark it wherever you need it. Where's it at? Right there. So then you just pull it out, measure to your mark, and get about 4 belts all around that measurement. And I promise you, you might get it right. All right, until tomorrow, we're that much closer.
That much closer.
That much closer. Radiator's back in though. Those seats I bought in Texas, those are Impala seats. Wait, the back seat's in your car, Brandon.
It is.
That matches it.
And
That's not right.
Repossessed.
That's not right. You gonna give your dad the matching seats or no? You gonna?
Nope.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to. The more and more I work on all these cars, I get to see why mine's missing so many things. So like, it's a lot easier to work on mine. For instance, I can step in between the grill and the radiator to work on stuff. Yeah, I'm missing a whole lot of stuff.
I mean, they were parts cars,
Yeah.
so, but they were cheap.
Yeah.
So whatever.
It works.
Can't really complain.
Nope.
All right. Until tomorrow, Bert's 57 is close. We put a new water pump on there, running the electric fan, no mechanical fan anymore. We've got pretty much everything up here tidied up. Now Brandon's working on getting the tail lights working. He got some new LEDs for the rear. So just gonna hook up a ground and those should be done. And people ask me, or I've gotten several comments about, is this the same one from Roadkill? No. I had 2 of these cars that were damn near identical. Brandon got that 57 from Roadkill at the end of that episode. Then I traded his dad this car so they would have matching cars. So no, it's not the same one because it's right here. The little 307 that we put in there on that episode has been pulled out. It now has a blown LS in it. We LS swapped it for Power Tour. Was it last year or the year before? Year before.
23.
And we thrashed on it for 3 or 4 days right before Power Tour. Yeah, it's right there on the windshield. And
What was last year?
got it running. Got all the parts from Speedway. Got a new rear axle under it. 6-speed transmission that used to be in blasphemy. 5.3 LS. 671 blower shop blower. 2750 carbs. The whole deal. So yeah, this one's going to Biloxi. This one's going to Biloxi. My 57 also going to Biloxi. So, and the Impala. Small block Chevy, LS, and big block. What you got left?
Wiring under the dash. All lights check out. Now it's just a matter of putting all the zip ties back on. After you take down all the gremlins and take everything out.
So now we got running lights front and rear.
Yep.
We have turn signals front and rear.
Yep.
We have gauge lights.
Okay.
We have everything. All right.
It's starting to look like a spaceship.
We got brakes. So it's almost time to test drive this thing. And hopefully the test drive goes better in this than it did in this. Did a tune-up on it, put plugs in it, changed thermostat, modified the fan a little bit, gave it some love, and it didn't return the favor. We lost oil pressure. I've been fighting this thing for a minute, trying to make it run right, and it's just, something was just off. And I don't know if we have spun a bearing or what, but me and Lucas went to test drive it a minute ago. Everything was going good, seemed okay. We stopped at a red light. We were sitting there for probably 30 seconds, and the oil pressure dropped to 0. So I'm going to put another gauge on it, double check the gauge that's in there, which I mean, I think it's good, because as you give it RPM, the oil pressure rises right back up to where it should be, but as soon as you let it drop down to idle, it drops to 0. So I have another small block. Today is Saturday. We leave in 2 weeks, and I'm not gonna let him not take this car to Biloxi. He's been looking forward to it all year. And I have another small block that I was gonna put in that car up there. Well, we're gonna donate it, and we're gonna put it in this car so he can make the trip and go to Biloxi. So that 383 is coming out. Bone stock small block Chevrolet is going back in it for the time being, just so he can go cruise and enjoy the beach. So that sucks, but that's hot rodding. We're not giving up that easy. On Brandon's car, we have to change the MSD box, because this was an NA LS, and since he's put the blower on here, we're now going to swap out the MSD box so we can play with the timing, and it also has a built-in map sensor so we can compensate for the boost that blower's putting in. So we're going to swap that box out, and I forgot what else. Brandon, what else are we doing to this thing? The box and what? Oh yeah, just get a vacuum leak. The gasket behind the little blow-off plate behind the intake is it's blown out, so we got to fix that. So the 39 has an electronic sending unit right there for the gauges inside, and just to verify that that sending unit isn't going bad, there's another one right above the oil filter. Let's see if we can see it. Right there. Plug right there, right above the oil filter. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to put in a mechanical gauge that I had laying around. So we're going to verify that, and if that thing says 0, this is coming out. So, and it will not run cool for nothing. Like, we've done everything. We've cleaned the radiator, we've changed fans, we've moved fans, we've changed thermostats, we've adjusted the timing, we've changed the plugs, we've changed the carburetor. We've done everything you can think of to make this thing run cool, and it will not do it. So it's very unhappy, and it won't even run smooth. Like, no matter what we do, it just does not run smooth. So this engine is not happy. So like I said, I'm pretty sure this test is going to show 0, and once it does, I'll be happy to take this out, drop in that one that I was going to put in my 55, and we'll be good to go. So all right, our gauge is hooked up. So now let's see what this one says.
so far they're reading right about the same. That one's just under 20, and this one's just under 20. So I'll let a little more heat get in it, and we'll see what it says. All 357s are together for the first time. All these came out of the same junkyard, and I'm sure half of you probably think they should probably go back to the junkyard. But we got the windshield in Bert's car. They're putting the trim around. We get the top trim in. They're doing the bottom now. We got to play with the idle a little bit on this, and this thing's ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna do a little bit of work on this. I gotta do some maintenance on mine. And then put an engine in on 39.
Yeah.
So.
You need a spacer to put under your boat.
Yeah, mine's not near as high.
Yours is like up here. Yours is
Yours.
like down there.
I need to join the Spacer Club. All right. I'm done with that. I need to polish my blower. Good Lord. Mine is not that shiny.
I'm worried if we spacer on yours, it might break and you might have to fix it. No, everything breaks. You never know.
What the hell is he doing?
Like I'm not getting any fuel to the damn body's going to, the bowls are empty. Hey, did y'all put this the coil on a switch or whatever? Do you have to have the power to the MSD box? Okay, so when I turn the ignition on, it's got power to it at all times. Because when I take and turn it over, it don't even want to sound like it wants to hit.
No, it's got fuel up in it.
What did you do?
Filled it up with gas. Shut it off. Filled it up with gas to have one fire.
Should those balls not have more fuel in them?
So at the bottom. Yeah. Check everything under there.
Everything's used fine, man.
I don't know, too.
Yeah. How the fans on.
Good job. That's a wrap for this episode. Bert's 57 finally went up the street under its own power. We still have a few bugs to work out, but we're pretty pleased with it. Brandon's car, we pulled the intake off. We have to drill the bottom of it for a vacuum port, and then that thing's ready to go. I got to do maintenance on mine, change oil, adjust the pinion angle, not a whole lot, just a few things. That thing's ready to go. And we got to swap the engine in the 39. So I have a bone stock small block that I was going to put in my 55, which is on the rack, but I'm going to donate it to that car so he can go to cruising the coast and not have to worry about nothing. So all of these cars are going to be there, and my Impala, which I still need to do a few things to, but it's all right. It's going to be worth it. We're going to have the time of our life. If you're there, come find us, say hey, shoot us a bird, whatever you want to do. But we'll see you next time.